Okay, I think we're live. I was gonna rush trying to make a better layout for the stream, but nah, we'll do that next time. Cause I've been doing this sort of thing where this is literally just the wallpaper of my computer. Like it's nothing special, you know. And I've just kind of been putting myself on there with the chat on the left. I thought it'd be easier that way, so that's just how we've been doing it for I don't know, almost a year and a half, I guess, right? I've been doing this shit for a while. Well, I guess when it comes to this channel, I mean, I've had channels since 2009. I don't know if all of you know that, but been doing stuff for a while. Not all those channels are active though, so don't bother trying to look for them. But yeah, I thought I would just hop on today because I've been doing this for the past 5,000 like increments in terms of subscribers. And what did I start it with? 5K and then 10, 15, 20. And I'm not gonna do this every increment. I don't think. It's just, you know, every now and then it just gives you a good excuse to stream something. Obviously I don't have to only stream for those occasions, but it just gives you a decent excuse for it. So I thought it'd be a good time to do it. But I do have other plans for streams. I think one stream I want to do, and I was thinking of doing this either for a video or a stream, but I'm probably just going to stream it. And that was tier ranking every single show I've ever seen. And I think that would work well for a stream because that would be a long stream. Because I haven't seen like an incredible amount of shows. I've maybe seen like 50. And when I say seen, I mean, have I seen at least one season of it? I think that's like the rule I'm going to make for that stream or video, whatever I decide to do. Because if it was you have to watch the whole series to include it, I wouldn't have that many series because there's a lot of shows where I watch one season and then I just stop watching it or I just haven't finished or caught up. Because shows are long, man. They take up a lot of time. And so whenever I rank it, obviously, if I've only seen one season, you only count that one season. I'm not ranking the full series. It's that obviously wouldn't be fair to judge the whole show if you haven't seen every season. But I think that'd be fun, especially with all the shows we've been reacting to recently. Obviously, I'd be including a lot of those shows, so I think that'd be a fun stream. Don't know when I'll do that though. I'll probably do that towards like summertime, probably whenever I'm further through Game of Thrones. I feel like I can confidently already rank Game of Thrones. 3 seasons is a decent amount, but still, I want to, you know, see a little bit more of it, watch a couple other new shows and such, and then we'll have a more thorough ranking, I guess. So I'm gonna go through some of the comments now. Sup the viewer Drew, how you doing? What's up, Evan? Kermit the Frog, thank you. Congrats on 30K. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Lola Frostwage, thank you. Hey, MovieFusion, you a fan of the Resident Evil games? So I've played the Resident Evil 2 remake, but that's it. I haven't played a single one of the other ones, and I want to. I just haven't gotten around to it. I think I do have the Resident Evil 3 remake as well. Like I purchased them in a bundle together, and I was planning on playing both of them, but I just didn't. And if you want to see me play Resident Evil 2, like my first playthrough, there's some old Twitch streams. There's probably highlights or something on Twitch from like 3 years ago almost. So if you want to, they're probably not very good streams because it was a while ago when the quality of my stuff wasn't as good. But if you want to watch it, that's there. If you want to at least see certain parts of it, I doubt anyone's going to want to look through that entire stream. But you know, if you were interested to see a certain portion of my reaction or whatever. But I've only played that one and it was really good. Like it was my type of game through and through when it comes to single player games. But I just haven't got around to playing the other ones. Because I love games like that. I love puzzles games, you know, puzzle games that include a lot of crazy action with zombies. You know, and Resident Evil was great with that, which is why I like COD Zombies so much, because that's literally what COD Zombies is. You're fighting zombies, and then you're doing puzzles. And Resident Evil kind of had that same feel, so it worked perfectly for me. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Bobby. What's a movie you feel gets bashed for the dumbest reasons? Oh, that's a tough one. I will say this isn't like I do think this movie is not very good. I don't think this movie's bad, but I do think it gets hate for the wrong reasons, and that's Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad. And I don't think it's a great movie whatsoever, but the one complaint I always hear people say about that movie is Jared Leto's Joker. I don't really get how that can be such a complaint because, or such a big problem with the movie, because he's in 3 minutes of the movie. Like, he's not even a significant portion of it. His role in the film is solely part of Harley's backstory, and it maybe takes up like 3 minutes of the movie. So, whether or not you liked him as Joker, I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was good, but it didn't ruin the movie. He was in 3 minutes of it. I had other issues with the movie, but it had nothing to do with the Joker. There's probably better choices for that question than that, but I mean, I can think of many. A lot of the spoof movies get so much hate, mainly by like critics. Actually, not even just by critics. You go on IMDb, Letterboxd, whatever. Any spoof movie is bound to have a really low rating, other than like Spaceballs or like maybe Austin Powers or Scary Movie maybe as well. But there's a lot of movies like that that are very clearly just trying to be ridiculous, funny films, and everyone gives them shit. I feel like a lot of time they just give it shit because it's ridiculous, but like that's kind of the point, you know what I mean? What's up, Sandra? Started watching when I was at 10K. Damn, that was a while ago. How long was that? Like, it's got to be early 2021. It's got to be, right? No, maybe late. No, that's got to be late 2021. I don't know. Around there somewhere. Around that year. I swear to God, your video quality is better than channels with millions of subs. Thank you so much. I see. I struggle so much with like being happy with my video quality, and this is something I gotta like get over because it makes me take way more time on certain things than I really should. Like, I spent so many hours just trying to figure out how to improve the bit rate of my videos, because you can increase bitrate on videos, but there's a certain point where it doesn't actually matter anymore, and it's not going to make the video look any better on YouTube because YouTube can only go up to a certain bitrate. But I was trying so hard to try to figure out how to make mine better because it always looks bad to me. But no, I've never seen many other people complain, and when I hear stuff like that, it definitely makes me feel better about it. But I don't know, it's just one of those things where I look at it, I'm like, I don't like this, and it's one of those things. It's just hard to enjoy your own stuff sometimes because you always feel like you could be doing a lot better. Do you plan to react to Fear the Walking Dead Season 8? No, only because I don't really like Fear the Walking Dead that much. Like, I've enjoyed certain seasons and certain episodes, but I can't say, especially Season 7, I really didn't enjoy it. So spending all the time reacting to it, I don't think they would be very interesting of videos. Now, if it ends up being really incredible, like I watched the first episode and it's like they just completely changed everything and it's just absolutely amazing, maybe, but no promises. It's also not that popular. I will be doing the other spin-offs though, the Rick Michonne spin-off, the Daryl spin-off, and the Negan and Maggie thing. The Negan and Maggie one comes out in June, I think, so I'll be doing all those. But Fear the Walking Dead, just nah. I haven't really reacted to any of them before. I did do a reaction to 2 season 6 episodes on one of my other channels. I don't think it's not public anymore. I think I unlisted it, but if you wanted to watch it, it's in a playlist. But I don't intend on reacting to any more of those. It's not like I don't hate Fear the Walking Dead. I just don't love it that much, and it's kind of hard to justify doing reactions to something you don't really like that much. Like, every show I react to, I really do like. The only show I reacted to that I didn't really like, honestly, was She-Hulk, and that was different because I already started it. So I kind of just wanted to finish it, and it's Marvel, and you know, it was the big talk and everything like that, and we knew Daredevil was coming, so I was so excited to see that. So that was like the only show I watched that I genuinely just did not. Book of Boba Fett maybe also, but then again, the Book of Boba Fett also had a couple of decent episodes in there. It wasn't all bad, but there was some of that show I didn't like too much. I didn't think it was terrible, it just wasn't the best. Thank you, Black K-Man. Am I saying? I've said your name before. I know I have, but I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. What should a Scream movie have in store for its to rival the original? Oh, a Cult of Ghost Faces. I want to see that. I want to see a movie where there's just like 10 plus ghost faces at once. And that would have to be like, you couldn't, how can you up that after doing that? But so they have to do it like towards the end of the Scream franchise. They're never going to be an end. Let's be real here. They're going to keep making movies, but to a certain point where they're probably going to stop doing them for a while. I think they'll stop doing them for a while after 7. But no, actually, I don't know. Would they stop doing them for a while? If it does well in theaters, probably not. I guess it depends on that. Just finished The Last Kingdom on Netflix. That's a series that's actually on my watch list. I don't know if I'll ever do it for the channel. Maybe. Who knows? I'm going to do polls after Game of Thrones where we'll be going over what show I'm going to watch after that. Obviously, other than House of the Dragon, because I'm definitely going to do that. But the shows I'm thinking of right now that'll be on that poll are probably going to be maybe The Last Kingdom, Dexter, which Dexter's really long. So that one I don't think people are going to want to see me react to. But that's a show I've wanted to watch for a while. Invincible, which is only 1 season. I'll probably do that anyways, actually, because there's only 1 season and there's 2nd season coming soon. And what was the other show? I'm not sure if Supernatural was one of the ones. I want to watch Supernatural. That's a show I want to see, but I'm not sure which one of these I'll do. But that's a problem for 7 months from now. We don't have to worry about it right now. We'll see if Game of Thrones will win The Walking Dead. Oh, you feel it'll beat it? That's a tough one because, even just after 3 seasons, I can confidently say, yeah, Game of Thrones has better quality. It has better consistency. But The Walking Dead is so close to my heart, emotionally. I've been watching that since I was 12. And, it's been a huge part of my life to the point where I don't think I could confidently say any show is going to, beat it in terms of my favorite. But I could say, yeah, okay, it's better quality in general. You know what I mean? Same with Breaking Bad. I've already said that for years. I think Breaking Bad's... If there's ever going to be a show that someone wants to recommend it to them, any show, I will always say Breaking Bad. Now I might say Game of Thrones, but between those two, because it depends on the person. Those are two different shows completely. Very different. Thank you, Kristen. I want a live stream of you doing Game of Thrones trivia. I think I'm going to do, after I finish Game of Thrones, all 8 seasons, I'll do a Game of Thrones specific stream where we'll just talk about the whole series. We'll do trivia. We'll do all that stuff. It's going to be a whole shebang. Maybe we'll even rank the seasons. I'll probably do a video ranking the seasons, actually. I think that'd be more fun. But for the stream, I'm just going to do all that stuff. That'll be fun. Congrats, man. I've been watching your stuff for a couple years now and always enjoy your Game of Thrones reactions. I'm a fellow Flash lover. Thank you so much, man. Maxwell, thank you. Yeah, I like the Flash. I mean, I haven't watched the show, but the character I enjoy. I've never read any of the comic runs, though. I will say that I've only seen him either in the movies or a couple of the cartoons and animated films, but that's about it. I have not seen any of the comics. There's not a lot of comics I've read other than Kick-Ass, The Walking Dead, and a couple of Spider-Man runs, plus a couple of Batman things. There probably is a couple others I've read too, but not a lot. And the movie coming out, it's one of the more anticipated movies for me of this year, which I don't think that's common for a lot of people. Actually, the more and more information coming out about it, I think the more and more people are getting excited. Tom Cruise just said he loved the movie. He got a copy of it. He said he loved it. And if Tom Cruise says a superhero movie is great, that is really huge, because he doesn't say that about a lot of movies, especially not comic book movies. So I was very surprised to hear him say that, especially because he's all about practical stunts and such. Obviously, there's CGI in some of his movies, but you know what I mean? He's all about the practical stunts and all that. So for him to praise a movie that's probably going to be mostly CGI, that says something. So I think The Flash is going to be great. It's got to be a great movie. You should do a Supernatural reaction. I was just talking about that before. It's actually one of the shows I possibly would like to react to in the future, but not sure. Are there any upcoming horror you're interested in seeing? Oh yeah, so well, in March there's nothing really, other than we already watched Scream, but after that there's nothing. April we have Evil Dead Rise, which I loved that trailer. That trailer looked really interesting to me, and I do plan on watching the rest of the Evil Dead movies because I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen the first one, so I'm gonna watch and react to the rest of them within the next month before the new one comes out. And also there's Ari Aster's new film, Beau is Afraid. I don't know if that's classified as horror. The trailer looked like it was horror, so I'm just gonna go and assume it's horror, but I don't know. Those come out on the same day as well. So those are the two horror of the next month I'm very excited to see. And the Beau is Afraid, that stars Joaquin Phoenix, so Ari Aster plus Joaquin Phoenix is like, that's gonna be awesome. It's gotta be. It looks really good. I can't think of May though. Is there any horror coming out in May? I really can't think of it. I don't know. Has anyone told you that you look like Christian Bale? Oh yeah, no, people have told me that, yeah. I don't really see it, but it depends. It depends when I had longer hair, I guess, but I don't know. Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts games? No, I know what they are though, but I've never played them. I think people calling the Incredible Hulk bad because Edward Norton is playing the Hulk instead of Ruffalo is stupid. Yeah, I mean, unless the person just didn't like Edward Norton in the role, but not liking it solely because of that, yeah, that's a little weird. I don't love the Incredible Hulk. I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not one of my favorite movies from Marvel. Scream 4 gets so much hate. Yeah, I was surprised because when I reacted to it on the channel, like everyone was hyping it up and I end up loving it, but then I find out years later, like recently especially, a lot of people don't like it. And I was like, I didn't realize that. I thought that was like one of the fan favorites, and I guess it is for certain people. It's just very divisive, I guess. What do you rate every Game of Thrones season so far? That is so hard. So I would say they're almost equal, like between each other. It's really hard for me to say one is a lot better than the other, but I think they're all at least like 9.5 out of 10s, somewhere in that range. I would like to think season 3 is the best, but I also think about season 2 and I'm like, oh, there was so much good in season 2, and then season 1 was also really great because it was such a new thing to me. Like it's hard to rank those, but if I'm just gonna rate them like out of 10, they're all at least 9.5. I'll just give them a solid 9.5 out of 10. That's what I'll do. That to me is a lot easier than trying to choose which one I like more. I think it'll be easier trying to choose which one I like more when I rewatch the show. I do plan on rewatching it, and by that point, I'll probably, have a better opinion on it. But I'll probably start rewatching it honestly within the next couple months because I'm obviously not gonna like catch up in the rewatching. I'll just make sure I'm staying far enough behind to where I am currently. I think that'll be a great idea because it'll allow me to relive some of the earlier moments. It could make the newer moments that I watch in season 4, 5, and 6, it can make those moments even more impactful if I get to relive the old moments. Because that show is really clearly the type of show to just bring back stuff from like the early seasons that maybe had a little part to play, but then out of nowhere, 2 seasons later, it's like actually a big, part of it. So I think it'll definitely make sense for me to go back and watch some of the earlier episodes and rewatch. It'll be a good way to help me memorize stuff too, like it's just, Do you have any guilty pleasure movies? I don't know. Guilty pleasure is one of those weird things because it's like if I get any pleasure out of a movie, I'm automatically gonna say it's good. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to have a really bad movie that I still like enjoy watching, because this is how I rate movies, and I think I've said this before, but like, so you 10 out of 10, right? That's how a movie is. Half of it is purely based off of my own enjoyment, my pleasure, right? And the other half is the technical aspects, like how good is the quality of it actually. So you could have a movie That's a 5 out of 5 in terms of quality. It's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. There's not a single thing I would change. But I also was kind of bored for a lot of it. It's going to get points deducted for being boring, you know? And that's very subjective, obviously. The movie didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't for me. I was bored. So it maybe gets like a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, something like that. It just takes off points because it wasn't something that I enjoyed that much. But then you get a movie where, sure, it's like a 1 out of 5 maybe in terms of like the technical aspects, but like I absolutely had a great time with it. So it's more like a 3 or 4 out of 5. And then in general, it would still be only like a 5 out of 10 or something. I'm trying to think of a movie like that though, because there's not a lot. Like, if I really got a lot of pleasure at it, I probably also enjoyed a lot of the technical aspects of it though. There's more movies that are on the flip side where I thought it was like really good, but I also just didn't really enjoy it. Guilty pleasure. Maybe like, it's a lot of horror movies like that. There's a lot of like the Nightmare on Elm Street, like 4 and 5, especially the Dream Child and Dream Master. Like, they're not that good, but they're fun to watch. You know, I'm sure a couple of Halloween films could definitely be in that realm. A couple of the Friday the 13th films, definitely. Definitely a couple comic book movies, maybe like Suicide Squad could be one. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't think it's that good, but I enjoyed Suicide Squad a lot. Like, I had a good time watching it. I remember when I first saw it in theaters in 2016, I thought I had a great time. Like, I didn't understand why everyone hated it. I was like, this is great. Obviously, you know, you get a little older, you start to realize, okay, there's definitely problems with the script, but I had a great time with it. So, you know, Suicide Squad, that'll be my answer. Will you react to Darren Aronofsky's Mother? Yeah, I do plan on that. Because he's a director I've been enjoying quite a bit recently. Because I watched The Whale in theaters, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was in my top 10 of the year last year. And I've also seen Black Swan and The Wrestler. I think his movies are good. He gets a lot of hate, but I think he's pretty good. Yeah, that Red Wedding reaction was something. What's up, American Mom? How you doing? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. When The Walking Dead, the complete series box set comes out, will you get it? Oh, probably not. I mean, the reason I say probably not is because, like, first of all, it's going to be expensive. Like, the complete box set, 177 episodes of The Walking Dead, that's going to be probably like $300, $400 probably. And I already have most of them on Blu-ray anyways, plus it's on Netflix. So, like, if I want to watch the show, the only reason I would get that box set is if there's like a really cool item in it, but is that worth all that money? I don't know. Because like I said, I already have most of it on Blu-ray, and the seasons I don't have, I can just watch on Netflix anyways, until they take it off of Netflix though. Do you hope Walking Dead Lee and Clementine's story will get a TV series like The Last of Us? If I could, like, just conjure up anything, like any sort of piece of media in existence, like I could just like press a button and that piece of media gets created and gets greenlit. Like any piece of media, TV, movies, games, if I can just greenlight something to get made, it would be that exactly. The Walking Dead Lee and Clementine story adapted into a TV series. 1000%. I want that more than like any other TV series or movie, anything. Because I love that game story so much, but only based on like the concept and ideas of the story. Because in execution, there's a lot of problems. I think season 1 mostly is solid all around. Season 2 is pretty good until some of the end parts. But there's so many issues that happen, like especially in the last like season 3. Like I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything, but like what did they do in some of those seasons? And they only are problems because it's a video game, right? It only is a problem because it's a choose your own adventure story, and it's just the nature of a story like that. They have to do it in certain ways to make it work. But if you were to turn it into an adapted TV series and take that story, take it seriously, Clementine's story from 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl to like 17, 18, whatever, however long you want the series to be, that could be such great television. You have to give it a good budget. You have to, you know, pay respect to the source material, but not copy it word for word, because there's a lot of great stuff in the games, but obviously you're not going to do the exact same stuff. And yeah, I think it would be a masterpiece. I think you get the right Clementine, you get the right Lee, you get the right Kenny, like you can make such a fantastic thing out of that. Like even if they were to just do the first season, I would prefer them do the whole entirety of it, because the first season's only one part of it, but like that would be just magical. I would just love that so much, man. I could easily see them doing like 7 or 8 seasons of that too. Like they could make it work. They could easily make it work. How was your day today? It was okay. It was okay. Better now that I'm streaming though. Airplane is my favorite parody movie. A movie I haven't seen, but it's on my watch list. Good job with the spoiler-free reviews. Thank you. Yeah, I like to do those because, like, some people just, you know, they might want to watch my video, but they also don't want to be spoiled. But I try my best to not give like anything away, because some spoiler-free reviews I've watched don't do a very good job of not spoiling things. I've talked about this before, but spoilers to me extend to just direct spoilers. There's also such thing as indirect spoilers, and you know, you kind of expect that for a spoiler-free review. Obviously, people are not going to be perfect with their reviews. They might indirectly give stuff away without actually saying it. So I never watch any reviews before going into something, even if it's spoiler-free, because I don't trust anybody to not indirectly say something. But like, there's certain things people say where they don't think it's a spoiler, but it actually is. Like, to me it is, you know? Because to me a spoiler is something that gives a reveal or a death or something away, right? It gives something away from what's not supposed to be known before going into the film, right? Obviously, if it's supposed to be known, if it's just general knowledge of the plot, that's different. But if it's not supposed to be known, then it's a spoiler, right? And you don't have to say it. You don't have to directly say it to still spoil it. You could indirectly say something and it'll still spoil it. A big example is when people say that there's a twist in a movie. I hate when people do that and they don't think it's a spoiler. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, if you tell somebody this movie has a big twist at the end, that is a spoiler through and through. That is like, just because you don't say what the spoiler is does not mean it's not a spoiler. You know what I mean? That's like something I'm so passionate in, because so many people just love to just throw stuff around, and I'm just like, you just spoiled it for so many people without even realizing it. Especially what's happening with the Scream 6 videos. Didn't watch any reviews before watching that, but I watched a couple afterwards, and I was like, these are spoiler-free reviews, and these people, like, these videos, if I watched this before watching the movie, I would probably guess who the killer is in the movie just from watching it, you know? A lot of it has to do with, like, your mannerisms, how you talk, what you, like, exactly what you say. It's I don't know, it's tough, though. I'm not, like, saying it's something they have to avoid doing. It's their video, they can do whatever they want with it, but I think it's more beneficial for the viewer if you try your best not to give anything away, you know? I'm not saying I'm perfect with that. I'm trying my best, even I'm not perfect with that. Honestly, in my Scream 6 spoiler-free review, I think there's a couple things I said that I probably shouldn't have said. So I'm not saying I'm perfect with it. I'm just saying a lot of people don't even realize it. Thank you, Maria. It's been a year since I last asked, but I still recommend you watch Gone Girl. Oh, yeah, it's been on my list for so long. I want that one to get picked, because I do the Patreon polls for movie reactions, so if it doesn't get picked, it stays on the list until it gets picked, you know? And I always add new movies too, so sometimes new movies get picked, and it's just the way the polls work. But I don't know, if there's a certain reason for me to watch it, like, regardless, I will. Because the polls aren't like the only things that decide what I watch. It's a couple different things. Have you watched Harry Potter? Yeah, all the reactions to the Harry Potter films, my reactions are all on the channel. So They're old though. They're like almost 2 years old now, those videos, but they're still on the channel. Are you gonna watch The Breakfast Club? Are you still gonna do the Breakfast Club? Yep. That's, I think, the next one I'm gonna do. Or no, because I have a couple of Patreon requests I have to do first, but I'll probably get to that early April, I want to say. Early April, hopefully. T. Parker Evans, thank you for the congratulations. I discovered you from your Rob Zombie Halloween 2 reaction. It's the most random movie to discover me on, but thank you. I'm mad about that movie, but enjoy your reaction. Yeah, I liked it more than most. I didn't think it was great, but I liked it more than most. That was an old video. That was the only Halloween I reacted to because it was the only Halloween I didn't see and I wanted to react to a Halloween film. So I was like, okay, I guess we'll react to this. Don't stress yourself over the quality of your vids, because if you think that your quality is bad, then some big channels should be ashamed of themselves. Thank you so much. When is the Defenders reaction? I finished the next 3 episodes, so I just have to edit them. Probably within the next, I want to say the next week. Hopefully. Because I also got to edit Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones does take priority. I'm just gonna straight up say it. Those videos take priority. They're getting way more views, so of course they're gonna take more priority. But I'm gonna get to Defenders as soon as I can as well, though. But for Game of Thrones, it's not just about like them having more views, but it's also important to keep that momentum going when videos have views. A little tip for people who want to upload YouTube videos and don't really know how to do it. I'm not saying I'm like the pro in knowing how to upload YouTube videos. It's probably better to ask someone with more subs, but generally speaking, if you have a well-performing video, you want to keep that momentum going by keep uploading videos that are just like that. So obviously for Game of Thrones, that would be more Game of Thrones videos. But if you stop that momentum, if you don't upload for like 2-3 weeks, it kills that momentum and it makes it hard to recatch the momentum. And I noticed that if I don't upload a Game of Thrones video for too long, sometimes the videos won't do that well. It's just something I've noticed. I'm not sure if it's a proven fact, but it's just what I've noticed. If you compare the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones and the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, which is better? Oh, okay, well, if you say that, I'll definitely go with Game of Thrones. Because my favorite Walking Dead seasons are seasons 4, 5, 6, like that area. Like, the first 3 seasons are good, but they're not my favorite for The Walking Dead. So, if you're comparing it against Game of Thrones, yeah, Game of Thrones is going to win. Easily. I'm going to turn on my fan, because it's actually kind of hot in here. K-Men. Oh, K-Men, okay. Since you like Game of Thrones, you will like The Last Kingdom? Well, good to know. A Cult of Ghostface. A Ghostface app that gives users people to kill. Oh, that'd be kind of interesting. Like some sort of like, I mean, you have... They always like to do like social commentary in ghost movies, or ghost movies, and Scream movies. So that'd be like a perfect social commentary thing to cover, like radical groups like that like can discover each other online, like let's say like on 4chan or some bullshit like that, and they do some like dark web website where they like have people, like a list of people that they want dead, and people will like put their names on it, and then these specific ghost faces go out and kill those people. I don't know how that would work, logistically, but to me that's an interesting idea, and then the whole movie's about them trying to figure out how to well, you wouldn't reveal that right away because I think the idea of it being revealed as a cult would be more interesting. So maybe this dark web thing is like very secret, but would it be secret? I don't know. It's hard to keep those things secret forever. I'm sure people would find it and then they would, expose it, but I think that's better for it reveal. So maybe like they don't find that website until later on or something. Can't even tell which video of yours I watched first because I've seen so many. Yeah, I mean, I have been uploading on this channel since 2020. It's been a while. I do feel bad because once I started this channel and this channel started getting like really good, I kind of like dropped my other channel. Like I mean not dropped. I don't want to say dropped because I still do upload on it, just not frequently. And like I feel bad because like I love those videos on the other channel too. It's just it's hard to maintain two channels and consistently upload them, and it's just not easy. I tried to though. Game of Thrones streams sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it would be. I'll definitely do that towards the end. I don't want to do it like after each season. I don't know. That would be like the only thing I want to avoid is like possible people, throwing out spoilers. So if I do a specific like Game of Thrones stream, you're gonna get trolls. So I just want to try to avoid that as much as I can. And also, there might be people who might, again, what I was saying before, indirectly spoil things because maybe they don't realize what episode I'm on, and maybe they forgot a certain episode was not actually in that season. I just want to avoid any of those issues, so we're just gonna not bother with that. We'll stream when I'm done with the show. Apparently, Tom Cruise has already seen a screening of the Flash movie. Yep, I talked about that before. I did see that, and that excites the hell out of me, because if Tom Cruise said it, then you know damn well there's probably some stuff in that movie that is worth seeing, for sure. I have not seen the Flash TV show. No, none of those CW DC shows, because none of them look interesting to me. I'm sorry. I'm sure some of them are good. I've seen clips, and that's enough for me to go, I don't want to bother. And they're so long, too. Like, I might watch them eventually if I have nothing else to watch, but I don't know. They just don't look that interesting. I'm sure some of it's good, though. Florence Pugh or Anya Taylor-Joy? Florence Pugh is funnier, but I think Anya Taylor-Joy has better performances. No, I don't know. I've only seen them both in a couple of things. I've seen Florence Pugh in Midsummer, the Marvel stuff. Don't Worry, Darling. What else was she in? I know I'm missing stuff, but she was in other stuff too. No, she's been really good though. I don't know. That's hard. I'll probably just go with Florence Pugh. Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet? I like the movies Tom Holland's in more, but no, I don't know, because Timothy's in a lot of good movies too. Timothy's probably a better actor, but Tom Holland's funnier. Same exact thing I said for the last one. What shows should I watch now? Because I just finished Better Call Saul. Oh, that you got to watch the sequel. There's a sequel called Breaking Bad. I'm kidding. I thought that was the funniest joke I've said in a while. Better Call Saul is really good. I'm about to start season 5 soon. I feel bad that I didn't do reactions to it, because I know a lot of people would have been interested in that, but I like having one show that like I really enjoy and I don't do reactions for, especially because like I see other people reacting to it. They don't really get many views anymore. I'm sure if I reacted to it when it first came out, that'd be different. And I've already seen like part of it, because I watched the first season like so long ago before I even had this channel, and then I watched season 2 like before you as well. So I was like, am I gonna start reacting to it halfway through a show? I don't think so, because that usually doesn't turn out well for people. And I've already seen Breaking Bad, so I thought to myself, I'll just have this show to watch on my own. And I like that. I like not having to do reactions for every show I watch, and it would just be unrealistic. Like I can't do reactions to every single thing I ever watch, because I would never get enough done, because they take time to edit and stuff, so you couldn't get through it as fast. But Better Call Saul is a masterpiece. I love it. It's not better than Breaking Bad, but I love it a lot. I read The Walking Dead. I read The Walking Dead comics until the beginning of the Governor arc, even though I watched the full show. Do you think it's still worth reading the comics? Um, you read them to the beginning of the Governor arc, so you only read a few volumes. Yeah, I would say it's worth reading. I think it was more enjoyable reading it before watching the show, though. I will say. Like, I rarely went back to read volumes from, like, ones that they were already covered in the show. But, like, I remember the excitement I had for certain comic arcs that happened, like, way into the future, and I was just so excited to see it come to the show. So I kept rereading it and thinking to myself, like, oh, how are they gonna adapt this? It's gonna be so cool how they adapt this. Sometimes it leads to disappointment when they don't adapt it, but yeah, I think it's worth reading. Because in my opinion, the best part of the comics is the period between All Out War and the Whisper War. Like, those two arcs are the best part of the comics. So you didn't even get to that yet. Well, I don't know, because the Governor arc's really good too. The Governor arc and pretty much any arc involving the big villains, Negan, Governor, Alpha. So I will sell my soul for you to react to Jennifer's body. Already seen it. I'm sorry. Can't sell your soul. It's a really good movie, though. Have you or would you ever watch Lost? Okay. This is one I actually really wanted to talk about because I've seen Lost, but when I was like 7 or 8, like, I'm not even joking. I watched it like very passively because like my family watched it and I just happened to be in the room. Um, so I do know most of the major events. So for me, Lost isn't really a show I want to react to just because of that. Because I feel like I already know most of the big events. I know how it ends. I know most of the big deaths. I just don't remember most of the details in between. So I don't think my reactions would be that great because of that. Because a lot of the times, you might be looking forward to my reaction to this character's death or this big reveal. I probably already know it, you know? Even though I don't remember any of the details in between. So that to me is the type of show I'm probably gonna just rewatch on my own because I want to watch it just to experience it in its full and actually remember what happened. But reactions just, I don't know. But like, imagine if I was reacting to Game of Thrones like that, you know? Knowing all the big events. Like, yeah, you could get something out of it, but I don't know. I don't think it would be that enjoyable to watch me watch Lost. I think it's more enjoyable to watch someone react to something when they know nothing about it, which to me, that was basically Game of Thrones. All I knew from Game of Thrones going into it was like 1 or 2 character names, and I do know a lot of people hate the ending, but that's it. That's all I know about Game of Thrones when I first started watching. So that was exciting. But for Lost, it wouldn't be the case because I do know a lot about Lost. And by the way, just because I know people hate the ending of Game of Thrones does not mean I'm going to go into it thinking I'm going to hate it. Trust me, I'm going to try my best to love it as much as I can. Just, you don't have to say anything else about it. I know people are going to be like trying to justify, like, oh no, don't worry, it's not bad. No, you don't say anything. I know. I will go into it and hope for the best. I don't know. Because I like a lot of stuff people hate. I do. I'm going to be honest. My favorite, not my favorite, season of The Walking Dead that I really like that a lot of people hate, season 8. I like the season a lot. A lot of people hate it. So there you go. You know, maybe that'll be the same for Game of Thrones. I don't know. Lost such a good show, but I fear reactions would flop on YouTube. Well, it would definitely flop if I've already seen most of the show. People would be like, I don't want to watch this. Evil Dead 2 is iconic. I've heard great things about it. I'm so excited to watch it. Oh yeah, the Boogeyman's coming out in June. Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. It looks interesting. It looks interesting. Have you seen Fight Club? Reaction is on the channel. Yep. Saw it in 2021. Scream 4 better than Scream 5? I agree. Thank you, Legolas. Speaking of Legolas, I really want to rewatch Lord of the Rings. I haven't watched them since I did them up for the channel, but I gotta watch those again because they're really good. Josh, congrats on 30K subs. What is your male to female subscribers ratio? You know what? I can look that up right now. I'm gonna do that right now for you. I'm not gonna show it on screen because I'm afraid there's like other analytics here I'm not supposed to be showing to, you know, people. Let me look. Audience. Okay. Oh, that's for the last 28 days. I'll do for the last year because lifetime, a lot of those people might not be watching anymore. So I'll do for the last 90 days. How about that? Okay, 80% male, or 79% male, 20% female, and like 0.2% user specified. Yeah, it's kind of what I expected. Yeah. I think most, like, I don't know actually. The weird thing is when you look at age, so for age it says for under 18, 3%. But that doesn't really mean anything to me because I don't think anyone actually puts the real age when they make a YouTube channel. So like I look at this and I'm like, wow, no kids watch my videos. It's actually like surprising, but no, there probably is a lot of kids. They just put like, you know, 20 or something when they make their channel. That's what I did. So I'm sure other people do the same thing. That's important to know because whenever I like curse in my videos and stuff, I always think to myself like, well, what if there's kids watching? But then I look at that and I'm like, well, it only says 3%, so I don't know. Maybe there's not that many. But like I said, they're probably older. They're just putting their, or they're probably younger. They're just putting their ages higher. What's up, Sebastian? I literally just found you yesterday and I'm at season 2 Game of Thrones right now. Thank you so much for watching them. That's really interesting about YouTube is when people find you like later on and they have to catch up to like certain, like let's say you're reacting to a whole series and they go back and watch the old ones. I love how people do that. I'm excited for I'm actually not watching any Game of Thrones videos because, you know, obviously to avoid possible spoilers. Not that I think there's going to be spoilers on a reaction video to a season 3 episode, but what I'm worried about is YouTube's algorithm works in a way where they'll recommend you videos similar to what you're watching. So if I watch any Game of Thrones videos, more Game of Thrones videos are going to pop up. So I'm not watching any Game of Thrones videos at all to avoid that from happening. And that includes reactions. So I'm not watching any reactions. So when I finish the show, I'm going to go back to some reaction channels. I'm sure I'll find a bunch of people that I know Blind Wave is one I'm definitely going to watch. I think they have reactions to Game of Thrones, so I'll probably watch just the ones that I feel like watching, I guess, and that's gonna be fun because I'll watch the bigger moments. I don't think I'm gonna watch every single one, but I'll watch as many as I can for a lot of channels. That'll be fun because I did that for The Walking Dead, so might as well do that for this too. You watch any other reaction channels? Well, there you go. And Blind Wave's the main one I like to watch because it's a group of guys who are very passionate about, well, okay, it depends what they're watching because this is how I do it, right? There's certain people for certain franchises. So if it's Star Wars, Blind Wave, without a doubt. Any Mandalorian reactions, that Blind Wave, without a doubt, because they're very passionate about that. For superhero stuff, Real Rejects, they're all about that stuff. They're very passionate about that stuff, so it makes more sense. That's kind of how I do it. Which is why I think passion's important. So if I don't like something, I'm not going to react to it because not only am I not enjoying myself, but you guys aren't going to enjoy watching it if I don't enjoy it. You know what I mean? To me, that's how it works. So that's why I don't react to stuff if I don't enjoy it. If I watch something and I'm like, this is not good, I'm not going to keep doing it, you know? Just join. Don't know if this has been asked. Top 5 movies? I'll pull it up right now on my Letterboxd, actually. I think I probably know it by heart, but I'll just read it out. I want to do a top 100 video, 100 movies video. I think I did one a while ago, but okay. Number 5, The Green Mile. Number 4, Back to the Future. Number 3, Logan. Number 2, Interstellar. Number 1, Joker. People hate when I put Joker at number one. Joker gets so much hate, and I don't get it, man. No, if you don't like it, it's fine. But like, I think it's just the thing about that movie is it's what got me into movies. Like that is probably why I like it so much. Because it like before that I liked movies, sure, but I was never like I really love movies. You know, I didn't take until that movie. I probably wouldn't have this channel if it wasn't for Joker. Because it just completely changed my like view of what movies can be. You know, before that it was just like, oh, something you put on in the background when you're hanging out with friends, you know. But now it's like more of an experience to me. It sounds so cheesy me saying that, but you know what I mean. Like that movie did that for me, so I just, you know, it's important. Interstellar did that too, if I'm going to be honest. Logan's just a badass comic book movie. Back to the Future is a classic. I'm very nostalgic for Back to the Future. I watched it all the time when I was a kid, and The Green Mile is so well written. Spitting out my gum. Did not chew that gum very long. I put it in like 10 minutes ago. What about The Umbrella Academy? That'd be interesting to do reactions to, maybe. Are they still making seasons for that show? The thing about quality, I felt that about All Quiet on the Western Front. Beautiful movie, but didn't pull at my heartstrings or anything. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, what I was saying about the technical aspects being really good, but the movie wasn't anything that I really felt that connected to. I agree. I also felt that way about There Will Be Blood. Was that the movie? Is that what it's called? With Daniel Day-Lewis? There Will Be Blood? Is that what it's called? I don't know. But the movie was amazing from a technical aspect and great acting, great all that, but I just didn't really feel connected to anything in the movie. I didn't feel connected to the characters. I didn't really care too much about what was going on, so it just ended up being lower from my rating. How much better do you think The Walking Dead would be if it had a budget like The Last of Us or Game of Thrones? 95% of the show's issues would be fixed. People really underestimate how important budget is. Like, yeah, of course, creativity is you know, the most important thing, but if you have the most creative person known to man, they could do something really cool with a small scale story. They can. The problem is The Walking Dead is not small scale, which is why The Walking Dead worked so well in the early seasons, because it was small scale. But once they started getting larger and they started going to war and they started doing all this crazy stuff, which I like that crazy stuff. I wanted The Walking Dead to go there. But they started going there and they did not have the money for it. So they had to cut a lot of stuff. They had to make stuff not nearly as epic and bombastic as it should be, you know? The Whisper War is a big thing for me. I love a lot of what they do in the build-up to the Whisper War, because the build-up to the Whisper War was all smaller scale. But once you get the big action stuff, they just like cut most of it, and it just doesn't look that great. The writing also is a bit iffy in some seasons, but most of it I think is really good. I think the biggest issue with the writing in The Walking Dead is not necessarily the writing, it's the dialogue, which dialogue is definitely part of writing, but dialogue in that show sometimes is a bit off in some seasons. Not most of the show is fine. The problem with The Walking Dead, though, they have so many different writers. Like, you look at Breaking Bad, only a couple writers working on that, really, right? There's obviously like you have one main vision from Vince Gilligan. He has a vision that he wants to execute, and he executes it. He has a lot of help from other people, yes, but his vision is executed. But Walking Dead, there was like 80 different visions for that series. So when you have a bunch of different visions that just keep changing season to season, it kind of messes up the possibility the writing can have. And even though there's source material there to focus on, doesn't really change the fact that some things just don't really work. And that's why some Walking Dead episodes are like the greatest things you will ever watch on television, and some episodes are some of the worst stuff you will watch on television. The Walking Dead is the biggest like up and down I've ever seen for a show. I still love those ups so much to the point where it is my favorite show, but those downs really bother me because it could have been a perfect show if they just kept those downs not so down, you know? Do you have the Creed movies on your watch list for the channel? I was gonna do them before Creed 3, but I just didn't find time for it and I just forgot about it. And then Creed 3 came out and I'm like, oh shit, Creed 3 already came out. So now I'm in this position where I'm like, should I just react to them anyways? Or should I just watch them on my own? Or should I wait till the next Creed movie comes out? Like, I don't know. I guess it depends how much you guys want to see them. They're on my watch list, but I don't know. I'm not sure how many of you guys would be interested in seeing me watch those. I know I've heard they're good. I just don't know. I've already seen the Rocky movies, so don't have to watch those again. Have you watched 1917? Technically an emotionally masterpiece? Nope. But I think that's on my watch list. What Walking Dead spinoff are you most looking forward to? Definitely the Rick and Michonne one, just to see Rick again for the first time in, years. But I'm also excited for the Negan and Maggie one. Daryl one is probably the one I'm least excited for. Daryl's a good character, but he's never been that interesting on his own to me. He works so much better with other characters, so seeing him in his own show doesn't really excite me that much. I love him as a sidekick to Rick. That's always been how I've enjoyed him, or even with Carol or Michonne or something, but on his own, I don't know. You have to have really good side characters. I love Daryl. I'm not saying I don't, but to me, like I said, he is more of a supporting character. Which is why I'm glad they didn't really make him the lead after Rick left. They kind of made him like a lead alongside Michonne and Carol, and I guess Maggie as well. What do you expect will happen to Game of Thrones Season 4? I don't want to answer that specifically just because I don't want to go into any specifics on the show too much. Nothing too specific because like I said, I don't want to. There might be people who haven't seen Game of Thrones here. I don't want to spoil stuff for them. But generally speaking, I'm expecting there to be another major conflict mainly revolving around other things in the universe, if you know what I mean. Because, with what happened with the war in season 3, I feel like there's got to be bigger advancements. I sound like an idiot trying to not spoil things, but I want the White Walkers. I want to see more of the White Walkers. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. That's what I love about this show. I just don't really know what to expect. I don't. And I like that. That's a great feeling. It's a fantastic feeling. It's hard to predict things in that show. I just got here. Sorry if it's been asked, but do you have any reactors you're interested in collabing with? I've actually had a couple. Wait, I see there's a chat. There's a super chat, but I didn't see it pop up on the screen. It might pop up in a little bit. I don't know, because I see it on the left here, but I don't see it on this. Maybe I gotta scroll down to find it. Oh, there we go. It usually pops up here. I don't know why it didn't. Sorry. Jay Maluna, thank you for the $2 donation. Patiently waiting for Suspiria original. That is on my watch list. The original and the remake are both on my watch list, so keep that in mind. I'm not gonna be able to read all comments just because we will be here forever, but I'll answer the one I was about to answer there. So the thing about collabing with other reactors, I would always be down for it. If anyone's interested. The only thing is, I don't. It depends on what it's on because, especially when it comes to recording. Recording's already pretty complicated, and I would have to find a way to fit another person's face in the recording somehow. I've seen reactors do it before. I've definitely watched people who have done it and they have made it work. I'm not sure how they edit, but I edit a bit differently than that. So trying to get another person's face in the video, I could probably do it half is my screen, half is their screen, and then in the middle. And I have to make sure the creator also has decent, video quality so I can use. Or if it's for their channel, they got to make sure my stuff's decent for them to use. And sometimes transmitting that through is not that great in quality. Or you could do Discord and then record their thing, but sometimes that can mess up too. So there's a lot of complications with it. I guess I'm down for it for sure if anyone's interested, but it's never been something I've necessarily tried really hard to go for. But I'd like it. I'd do it. Most anticipated Marvel show movie? From the ones that have been announced, well, I mean, the obvious answer is Avengers: Secret Wars, but that's so far ahead. I'm just gonna say something a little more sooner. I'll say Deadpool 3, just because of Logan being in it. That's enough to excite me. Even more sooner, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm very excited for, so I'll throw a couple of those out there. Have you been spoiled by anything about GOT, be honest? Nope. Not from after these seasons. The only thing that didn't spoil anything about a previous thing, but it did kind of like lead me to believe something was gonna happen. And thankfully I didn't know specifics, but I did feel like something crazy was gonna happen in the last couple episodes of season 3. Only because so many people, and thankfully I didn't see any specifics about like the episode or anything like that, but so many people were saying like, oh, can't wait to see your thoughts on like this last like part of the season 3 or whatever, like you can't wait till you see this moment, like stuff like that. I didn't see any specifics on the episode, so I didn't know that what was going to happen in that specific episode was going to happen. I didn't think that something big was going to happen. I didn't know, obviously I didn't know specifics, but I did feel like at least within episode 8, 9, or 10, I was expecting some death or something, which isn't that crazy because it's Game of Thrones. You know, there's deaths all the time, but I still, like, there was no part of me that was like, oh, definitely nothing crazy is going to happen. There's got to be something crazy happening, which is probably why when that stuff started to, like, and get, like, you know, I'm trying to be so, like, non-spoiler about it, but there was that point in that one episode where stuff started like amping up, and I was like, that's why I started getting so nervous. I was like, oh wait, is something about to happen? And part of that was also because so many people have been telling me something big's gonna happen in the end of season 3. Again, not saying anyone's at fault for saying that, but it was kind of the whole point. Like, it doesn't spoil it, but it sets my expectations for something. Even though I didn't know any specifics, it's still something I'd prefer not to see. But any specific spoilers, no. Nothing else, no. I gotta thank my mods for that, by the way, because the mods have been doing a great job of removing spoilers, so I gotta, you know, hand it out to them for sure. Which actually, something I discovered, I'm glad I knew this before, you know, accidentally coming across it, but actually if you go in your comments on your YouTube, and maybe this is good for reactors who are maybe in the chat, if any reactors in the chat, if you go in your comments and then you click on, I think it's like held for review, I always assumed that was just for the ones that YouTube holds for review, but it also includes comments from moderators that they have deleted. Apparently, YouTube does not automatically delete those comments. They'll only automatically delete it if the user deletes it. Instead, it'll go to held for review. Now, I never checked that, thankfully, but I did find out on Twitter, someone said like, oh, make sure if you don't want to see hidden comments, don't check that. Thankfully, someone said that. But what I'm gonna do at the end of the series, I'm gonna look through all those. Maybe we'll do that on stream. Look through all the comments and see what people said trying to spoil the show for me, because I kind of have a laugh out of that. I don't know. I think it'd be funny. Are you looking forward to John Wick? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I should be doing a review for that, most likely. Will you be reacting to the movie Megan? No, I saw it in theaters, and I uploaded a review to it, actually. Thank you, Diane. You said it's better to ask people with more subs, but you deserve more subs. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're referring to when I said, for when I was giving advice, yeah. Well, actually, here's the thing. When it comes to advice for YouTube, I think it's actually better to ask people who are fastly growing, but are not necessarily that high in sub growth yet. I don't think I apply to that necessarily, but if, like, let's say somebody goes from like 5K subs to like 60K subs within like a couple months, that person, advice from them is way more valuable than someone who went from like who's been at like a million subs for like 10 years. You know, like PewDiePie, advice from him does not matter. No offense to PewDiePie, his advice on YouTube does not matter whatsoever because he's already got to that point so long ago before YouTube has changed. Not to say that he doesn't have anything useful to say when it comes to like other things about YouTube, but when it comes to growing, in terms of how his channel works, it's not going to be anything similar to a channel who is smaller. So it's better to get advice from someone who is maybe a bit smaller, has like 60 to 70k subs, and they grew really fast, you know? PewDiePie deserves all the respect in the world for what he did, but I'm just saying, it's probably not the best to ask him, like someone like that, for advice, just because he's already got such a big channel to the point where it's not like, you know, a small channel is not going to benefit from his advice as much. I'm sure he's smart enough to realize that, though. Oh yeah, I did react to the Hunger Game movies on this channel about a year ago. My favorite was definitely Catching Fire, definitely. Why has everyone been talking about Hunger Games recently? Did something happen with Hunger Games? Because I've been seeing so many TikToks of it. I've been seeing so many people talking about Twitter recently. Like, this, something happened with it? Because I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. What has been your most watched upload? For this channel, I think it was a Walking Dead ranking, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think it was a Walking Dead season ranking or something. But of all time, for any of my channels, I think there's a Walking Dead Telltale Games video I posted on my gaming channel. I don't know. You can check my channel. If you click the popular tab, there's like a filter that can filter your videos with the most popular. Favorite Walking Dead character? Rick. Will you read the books for Game of Thrones? I actually would like to, and I don't read. I don't read at all, but those are books I want to read. Game of Thrones cosplay, please. Who do you think I could do? I don't know. I don't know who I look like. I don't really think I look like any of them, to be honest. I don't know. I guess you don't have to look like them, because you could just wear a costume or something. It doesn't really matter. Flash season 1 and 2 are great. Yo, this is... I didn't realize how far behind I was with comments, because if people talking about Flash here, I talked about Flash like 30 minutes ago. I'm so far behind. Yeah, I'm sure some of the seasons are great, so maybe I will check them out one day, but I don't know. Oh, what's up, Kaylee? I think I'm saying your name right. Kaylee, right? It's important to keep some shows and movies to yourself while doing this, I think. Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important. Like, I don't know how I couldn't sit through and watch every single show and movie all on the channel. That would just drive me nuts. I need some that I can just watch in the comfort of my bed or something, or in the theaters. Like, you know what I mean? I can't just not do that. Like, I don't know how some channels, they'll wait for, and no disrespect to them, they do what they want to do, whatever, but they wait until like some movies come out just so they can react to them instead of seeing them in the theaters. And I'm just like, bro, I'd be too excited to see it. I gotta go see it. I can't wait like a couple months, you know? Especially for Spider-Man No Way Home. A lot of people did that. And I was like, dude, it's No Way Home, man. Not even just because of spoilers, but also just because, like, I'd want to see it as soon as possible. Do you have any other shows lined up for reactions after you finish the ones you're currently doing? I recommend Yellow Jackets, as you like horror suspense. I saw the trailer for that the other day. It looked really interesting, actually. So that'd probably be on my list. But we're obviously going to keep doing Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is probably going to take us until at least... I'm going to predict August. I say August because I've been consistently doing about one season per month. So if I keep doing one season per month, I should be done by like August. So we'll also do House of the Dragon as well, obviously. And after we finish Defenders, which we're almost done with that, we're going to do Daredevil season 3, because I've done season 1 and 2, but I got to do season 3. Then we're going to do The Punisher season 1 and 2. And then I'll probably do a poll asking about other shows. Also, there's a bunch of shows that are coming out in the next couple months and the next couple whatever. I guess the whole next year, really, There's a lot of new shows as well that I'm like, I gotta react to, like the Marvel stuff, Star Wars, Walking Dead spin-offs, The Boys season 4. Like, there's a lot of shows, so we got a lot to watch. But in terms of like older shows to watch, probably not until after The Punisher, and maybe not even until after Game of Thrones, just because I'm probably gonna be doing a lot of different shows, especially when it comes to new stuff, like I said. Thoughts on Scream 6 and should they make another? Oh, they're already making another. I like Scream 6. I didn't absolutely love it though. Like, I had it pretty low my ranking actually, but I like all the Scream movies. Like, I don't think any of them are bad, so I thought it was good. I just thought it didn't really hit the landing in the end. What's up, Juan? Hope you had a great day. I love you, man. Your reactions are amazing, and I also love when you tell us that you realize what they meant while you were editing. Oh yeah. No, I love doing those because whenever I'm editing, I always realize something. I'm like, oh wait, damn, I should have said something. I feel like I realized I made a mistake or something. I said something wrong, so I was like, okay, I gotta do a little pause in to kind of like, you know, clarify something. Like, I feel like it's something I like to do. I used to just do text on the screen, but I thought if I were to actually talk with my voice, it makes it a little bit better. I don't know. But thank you so much for those kind words. I appreciate it. Have you seen Moonfall? I did, yeah. It was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. I just thought it was okay. Arcane reaction? No, I did not watch Arcane. It looks like it probably could be a good show though. I love reactions like you are the best reaction channel. Thank you so much, Sasu. Am I saying that right? What are your top 3 favorite TV series? This one's actually an easy question. The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. I even just after 3 seasons, Game of Thrones is top 3 for sure. For sure. Swear to God, these big reaction channels be having the driest reactions ever. Like when an important character dies, they go, "Oh wow, oh no," like they are so boring. Yeah, well, that's the thing though. That's the only issue with reactors. Not issue with reactors, but the issue with doing reactions is sometimes like we realize because if that's their honest reaction, I don't think that's anything like that's not wrong of them to do that. I think that's definitely better than faking a reaction. Because that's to me like something I never want to do. I never want to fake a reaction. So sometimes something big does happen in a show and I don't really feel that impactful about it. And so I don't have a big reaction. And I might get some comments sometimes. Thankfully, that's never happened with Game of Thrones because I'm like so invested in the show to the point where like it does not matter how big the thing is. I'm freaking out. Like literally Arya could have a cool moment. I'll be like on the edge of my seat. So, it's not a problem for that show, but there's been shows sometimes in the past where like I don't have a big reaction to something and some people are like, oh, but if that's just, it's honest. We're trying to be honest. So I do get it. But like I said before, and you're probably saying that in response to what I said before, if they don't like the show, it's probably why they have dry reactions to it. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't want to do shows I don't like, because they're probably going to be some dry reactions if I don't like the show. Like my She-Hulk reactions. Those are the worst reactions I've ever posted. Like, I don't know who watched those She-Hulk videos, but the whole video, I'm sitting there like this. I'm like, like that's the whole reaction. I swear. I just didn't think it was that funny. I don't know. I know it's a complete comedy, but most of it did not land for me. And I thought it was everything wrong with the MCU humor, basically. Sessa K. I know what you're saying, Joshua. Sessa K. I just can never say her name. I can never say the name of her channel. But yeah, she's good. I watched her Walking Dead videos. She's good. Maybe you can make making YouTube videos for dummies for us that want to get into making videos. I've thought of that, but then I always think to myself, there's people out there who have made way better videos than what I'll probably end up making. But then I thought to myself, I should specify it for reactions. Obviously, I don't only do reactions, but that's like one thing that I did have to kind of learn how to do, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know. One of the biggest things is you have to use Firefox, or I guess you don't have to. There's probably ways around it, but when you're recording footage for a show, movie, whatever, most of the time you should use Firefox, because Firefox, the browser, does not block things. But if you use Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, they will block most of the things you're trying to watch because they don't want you to record it. So you got to use Firefox. That's something I had to learn. So that could be an interesting video just from that, you know. Will you be continuing your channel once you graduate? I'm graduating in a few months, so yeah, I better hope so. Yeah, I will be. That's the thing about the channel's future. I don't really know. Like, I don't know the future of my channel whatsoever. I don't know when I'll stop. I don't know when I'll be done. It really just depends on so much. I don't think there's ever going to be a point, straight up, I don't think there's ever going to be a point where I'm just going to sit down and make a video where I tell everyone that I'm quitting YouTube. That's never going to happen. I hate that idea because to me, you never really quit it. You know, like YouTube is something you could just come back to. So if I ever were to stop uploading, it would probably just be like maybe I'll make a little update. I'll be like, oh, I can't upload as much for the next couple months because I got stuff going on or whatever. Or maybe if I get like a, you know, big job, which I have certain things that I'm looking into right now, it would be something where, yeah, I'd have to upload less. I would never say straight up I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I could always come back, even like having not uploaded for like 5 years. I could always come back and just upload a video for fun. And uploading a video saying you're quitting is, I feel like, just a bad idea all around. Because what if you're not quitting? Then you just lost a lot of your audience. People will unsubscribe to you for that. You know what I mean? So when I see that all the time, people say they're quitting and they come back a month later, it's just not a good idea in my opinion. So I don't think there'll ever be a point where I'm certain enough to the point where I'll make a video like that. But I'm sure I won't be uploading for the rest of my life unless my channel just blew up and I went to like 100K subs in the next couple months. Then yeah, maybe I would make it my career. But for now, it's not really something I feel like I want to make my career. Even if I did get to that point, I don't know if I would want it to be my career, just because there isn't a lot of stability in it. If you get to a certain point, there is, but before that point, it's kind of shaky, and you have to rely on a lot to get stable income. It's not like guaranteed. It's also exciting though. It's honestly, it's a great thing to do when you're younger, especially. Which is why I always tell people, like, start YouTube as young as you can, as long as, you know, your parents are okay with it. Don't be like, you know, 12 years old uploading videos and showing your address and stuff, because 12-year-olds do that shit. But start it young, because if you get a good audience fast, it's a great job to have when you're younger, because it's exciting. It is so exciting because, yeah, you might make no money one month. The next month, you might make good money. It's like, it's kind of an exciting thing to have as a job, if I'm going to be honest. But in terms of career, it's not stable enough where I'm at right now. Could it be in the future? Maybe. I don't know. So that's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I'll continue my channel in the future. I might. I don't know. I will never know for sure. But you bet your ass I'm finishing Game of Thrones first, though. Don't worry. I found you from your Arrival reaction. Oh, Arrival was great, yeah. Just rewatched all your Maze Runner videos. Interesting, you thought Scorched Trial was the best, even though it's the most hated. Oh, it's really the most hated, wow. Yeah, I love that one. I don't know, because I loved it because of the, part of it was the setting. There had a really cool, like, apocalyptic feel to it. And I loved a lot of the characters. That one had Giancarlo Esposito in it, right? Well, I guess he was in the third one also, but he was in a lot of the second one. I don't know. I just really like that movie. Do you have a favorite remake? I guess It, maybe? I don't know. I like It a lot. It's a great movie, and that's a remake. When do you think the Walking Dead downfall began? Well, that's the thing. I don't really think there was a downfall. I think there was a a downfall, an upfall, a downfall, an upfall. Like I think it went up and down. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say downfall. Like I don't like a lot of season 7, but then season 7 finale is like amazing. And then season 8 starts off really good, and then there's some really bad episodes, and then it's really great again, and then it's like a couple bad episodes, and then it's really amazing again. And season 9 has so much incredible stuff. Season 10 starts off, and I'm not liking that much. And then season 10 is a really great battle episode, and then it starts to get down again. And then there's a really great Negan episode, and then it's down. You know what I mean? Like it's very much up and down like that. So I don't think there's ever been a downfall for me. It's just more like the show is just up and down all around, you know? Which is probably why so many people stop watching it, because people want consistency. They don't want to watch an episode and the next episode to be like, and then the next episode, even if the next episode's a masterpiece, it doesn't matter because there was one episode that wasn't that good, and that made them stop watching it. You know, that was their biggest problem, was allowing any episodes to be not that great, which kind of was why the whole bottle episode thing was a really bad idea. You shouldn't have bottle episodes in your shows. You just shouldn't. Some shows make it work, but most of the time it's not a good idea at all. Taib, am I saying that right? I don't know, but thank you so much for the £2 donation. When you're watching Daredevil Season 3, by the way, congrats on 30K. Thank you so much. Daredevil Season 3, I'm going to watch when I finish Defenders, so hopefully within the next couple weeks. I should be starting Daredevil Season 3 in April. If I don't start it in April, I don't know. I'd be very surprised. Hopefully in April I'll start it. Where was I in here? I have to like, I can't be here for too long, so I'm gonna try to get through more of the comments. I'm not gonna read like everything, which I would like to read everything, don't get me wrong, but speaking of your mods, when are you gonna tell me you made me one? Yeah, I just randomly made that because I like to make anyone a mod if I frequently see them on the channel, just because if I see them on the channel frequently, I know I can trust them. That's all that really matters. And also if they're a fellow creator, it's just, to me, it's like, yeah, they're trustworthy to be a mod in that way, you know? And I'm not saying I make everyone mods, so if you're not a mod, don't, you know, I could make you a mod if you ask. Don't worry. I'm not like that strict on who's going to be a mod or not. So if you were to like send me a message asking, I probably would make you a mod if I've seen you here before. If anyone wants to be a mod, all I really need is to just recognize your name. That's all. Like if I've seen you in comments before and you want to be a mod, I will make you a mod. Because the more the better, really. Because just to, you know, avoid any possible spoilers and such. Also for streams, which honestly hasn't been much of a problem with streams because I made the chat sub only, which I didn't do that to be annoying. I did that because I didn't like the bots. There's so many bots on YouTube, and when you make them sub only, the chats, you won't get the bots. So yeah. Game of Thrones Season 3 or Walking Dead Season 3? Probably Game of Thrones Season 3, just slightly though. I like The Walking Dead Season 3 a lot. I'm not watching House of the Dragon until you do. Oh damn, probably gonna be till like September, so you got some time. But that's nice of you. I've really been enjoying your Game of Thrones and Last of Us reactions. You've been getting through them so fast, and it's really awesome. Best reaction channel ever. I think so. Thank you so much. It's like crazy that people actually think that. Like, I really appreciate it. Because I always feel like, I don't know, I'm always worried that my quality's not that great. But then again, it's just me in my head, you know what I mean? They released all Hunger Games movies on Netflix. Oh, there you go. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Would you do Walking Dead what if story scenarios for videos? Probably not. Only because like I only like what if stories scenarios if it's like a multiverse like Marvel. But for Walking Dead, I don't think that's something that like would be my style of video, you know what I mean? You'd be a great Viserys, but I don't have blonde hair. I guess I'd have to dye my hair. You could pull off Robb Stark with a beard. Maybe. No, no, my beard grows just like Gendry. Gendry in season 3 with his little. That's how my stuff grows out. I don't know if any of you have seen me with it. There's only a couple videos of me having actual like facial hair. I usually shave it. But it grows in just like Gendry, like a goatee. It doesn't grow much over here. It does a little bit, but not much. It's more like around here. So if anything, it looks more like Gendry. When you get to this comment in 20 minutes, it's hilarious. I probably did take 20 minutes to get to it. It's pronounced KL. Wait, it's like Kalel? No, right? Is it K? Oh, like I'm still wrong. KL. Oh, is it KL like that? Like am I pronouncing it like just those 2 letters and that's how you pronounce it? KL. Okay. I've never seen it pronounced like that. If I'm saying that right, I'm probably not. I'm so bad. Even with like Game of Thrones, like there's so many characters. I think I've said their name a different way like 40 times. Like I'm not even exaggerating. There's some characters I think I've said it like. It's insane. In my opinion, Spider-Man No Way Home is the best ever Marvel movie. It's in my top 10, I think. Thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead season 8? Well, it hasn't come out yet, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm not that excited for it. Almost done with the water. I think when I finish the water, that's when I'll have to end the stream. Because then I'll be in danger of thirst. I want Scream to do a kill where all killers are accounted for just to screw with the people who say how easy figuring out the killer is. Yeah, that'd be cool. There's a lot of interesting things they can do with Scream that they haven't really done yet, which is probably why I was a little disappointed with Scream 6, because I felt like it didn't do that much. Like, it didn't really innovate whatsoever. Like, it kind of just did, like, other than the setting, it kind of was just like, it's still just a typical Scream movie, I think they could have done so much more. And to me, that's like the #1 rule for a horror franchise, is if you have that many movies, you have to start going crazy with it. You have to start doing very different things. And Scream has started to get to that point where they got to start innovating and doing some really different things. They can't. If they make Scream 7 and it's just another typical Scream movie, I'm going to be like, what? It'll work. It'll definitely be still enjoyable. It'll definitely still be good, but like I want them to really go there, do something so different. And if that means Ghostface in space, then that means Ghostface in space. That's what it means. That actually could work, is the funny part. Like, I wouldn't hate that. Like, I really wouldn't, if I'm gonna be honest. Do you think someone could get away with doing an R-rated Lord of the Rings movie? Or do you think that would be a copycat Game of Thrones? I don't know. I don't really think so. I mean, Lord of the Rings is very similar to Game of Thrones, well, and vice versa, but I don't think it really matters. I think it could be similar. It's not like it's... People are going to call it a copycat no matter what. That's how people are, even though Lord of the Rings came first. Well, the book came first. Well, yeah, the movies did too. But, well, the movies... When did the Game of Thrones books come out? That's what I don't know. But it doesn't matter. I know the Lord of the Rings books are like really old. But it doesn't matter who's a copycat. Like, you're not copying. Like, these are all things that existed before. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they created the concept of dragons or anything like that, Well, it's not the only thing in common with the two shows, but you know what I mean. Or the two franchises. Did you notice the actress that plays Osha is Tonks from Harry Potter? Yes, I did notice. I didn't notice, actually. Someone told me. I'm not going to act like I noticed that myself, but someone told me. I did see one comment where someone thought your red wedding reaction was rehearsed as you knew what was coming. I was a bit in disbelief at that one. Oh yeah, so I didn't see that comment, but my girlfriend told me because I guess she's able to, if you click a certain button in comments, you can see like even the hidden ones. And she was able to see that. That one was automatically hidden from me from YouTube, so I didn't see it on my end. I was gonna reply to it, but I didn't see it, and I'm not gonna reveal all the comments because then obviously I would see the ones that moderators removed, which include spoilers. So I'm not gonna see that. But I couldn't reply to him. But I was just gonna reply something snarky or something. But yeah, I don't know. It does bother me because it's like there's no way to prove that I haven't seen it. So it's just like it's one of those things where you're just like, okay, either believe me or don't believe me. Like I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like don't watch the video then. If you don't believe me, don't watch it. But I found it extra funny because like the person was just saying that based on the fact that I semi predicted something was going to happen. Like there was foreshadowing. Like that's not like a crazy concept, you know? Like I don't know. Oh well. And I don't predict most stuff in that show. It's a very unpredictable show. Nothing wrong with the actress, but I want my Hulk contest to get serious again. Oh, you're referring to She-Hulk? Oh, the actress was great. She was probably the best part of the show. She was great casting. It just wasn't very good show. I don't think it has to be serious because She-Hulk's not really meant to be serious, but it just didn't work for me. I don't know. It's one of those shows where like I don't really think it needed to be that different. It's not my type of show. I don't know. She-Hulk was bad and the actress was great, so it's sad to see. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I don't know. It's one of those shows I just wasn't interested in. I think a lot of people did enjoy it, and that's fine. Do you know the Thrifty Typewriter? I do. Yeah, I've watched his videos. They're really good. Yo, Gabriel with the 22. What is that? Is that Canadian dollars? I don't know. What is CA? I'm probably really stupid, but what is CA? Thank you so much for the donation, man. If you ever stop YouTube, it will be a sad day for me. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe, you know, there could come a time where, like, I'll do like one video a week, maybe. Maybe I'll get to a point where that's all I have time for, but it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. When are you next streaming? I don't really schedule these ahead of time, so I don't know. I have a Twitch channel too, so I stream there every now and then for like just video games if I feel like playing a video game and I want to stream there. So you can check me out on Twitch as well. And anyone's free to come and ask me questions as well. Like you don't only have these Q&As to ask me questions. If you want to ever ask me something random, you can always just hop into one of those streams and ask something. But for this channel, probably not till April at least, maybe. I like to stream once a month. I failed in February and didn't stream in February, unfortunately, but I'll try my best to keep doing it once a month. Did you see John Wick Chapter 4? No, it releases for me on Thursday, I think. Unless it came out early and I just didn't know about it. I hope it didn't, because that would have been kind of funny if I just... Wait, let me check. Hold on. Because I have been seeing a lot of people talking about watching John Wick, and I'm like... I just assume they got early screeners, right? I gotta see if maybe it just sneakily came out earlier than I thought. Because that would be kind of funny. I'm planning on seeing it Thursday, but I don't know if it sneakily came out. I don't think so. No, okay, it's opening the 24th for me, okay. Thought I missed out on it. No, I don't get early screeners. I'm not special. No, the thing about early screeners is I don't really do reviews. If I did more reviews, I would likely get screeners. Like I've seen channels with like 10K subs get early screeners for stuff, also because they just know people. But mainly because they do movie reviews. I do movie reviews every now and then, but not frequent enough to the point where I would probably get any of that. Which is kind of annoying because I feel like reactions... they incorporate reviews into it in some way usually. So I feel like studios should be looking at reaction channels as well and trying to get them involved rather than just uh people who do reviews. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. I'm sure some reaction channels get some screeners, but I'm like the channels that also do reviews probably, like, you know, Real Rejects, obviously they do reactions and reviews, so they get a lot of screeners for that. You've seen Kick-Ass, haven't you? Yeah, I have. It's one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite comic book movies. I treat modding a lot more serious than that, so that's why I was a little confused. Oh yeah, no, you see, as long as I trust the person, I'm like, yeah, sure. But yeah, that is true, because you could accidentally get someone who's just like out to just delete every comment on your streams. But does it tell you who removed the comments? At least in a stream it does, right? No, does it? Actually, I don't think it does. Yeah, you're right. That is actually more serious than I thought. I guess if anything happened where someone was doing that, I would just remove all the mods and then like slowly add them back or something like that, I guess, maybe. But I don't know. I haven't had a problem, so I trust the people I have currently. All I really care for people to delete are like spoilers and like spammy stuff. That's all I really care. Or if people are like, well, here's the thing, YouTube usually removes comments on their own. Like, let's say they're using like bad language, they'll usually just automatically remove those anyways. But, well, it depends, I guess. Sometimes they don't. I always say, like, some people are really, like, they say some really mean things to me. I always want to keep those though. Like, I'm not a believer of deleting comments. It just, some channels are, and that's fine, but I'm personally not a believer of deleting comments that are critical of me, even if it's like the stupidest stuff that's like just ridiculous. It's not even like constructive. It's just like just calling me a dumbass for no reason. Even those, I'm gonna keep them. I might, you know, reply to them and say something funny, but I'm never going to remove comments like that. But once they start hating on like other people, that's when I'm like probably gonna step in and remove stuff, because that's different to me. But like, if you shit talk me, I'm all for it. that's how I like doing my things. But spoilers, that's another story. I'd honestly rather someone punch me in the face than spoil something. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not even exaggerating. Oh, Marvelin, yeah, you've been here. I'm modding you. Wait, why is there a managing moderator and standard moderator? Did they add that? Is that a new thing? I don't want you managing my channel, no offense. So I'll make you a standard moderator. I don't want anyone managing my channel except for me. I don't know that was a thing. That's interesting. What do you think of the current state of the MCU? Ooh, I could talk about that for hours, bro. Oh my god, that's a question and a half. I like a lot of the movies, but they have a problem with a lot of them feeling too similar in terms of tone. They feel very different in terms of other aspects like story and such, but the tone is too, like, you know, it's got that humor, like that snarky, like, you know, slapstick humor, and they're just doing too much of that. They need to dive deeper into more serious content, more adult stuff as well. I want some R-rated stuff from MCU. We're gonna get that with Deadpool, but that's not coming for a while. And they need to give things more time rather than just rushing the production of it like they did for, apparently they did that for Ant-Man 3. So yeah, that's I could probably talk about that topic for hours, but because I love the MCU, I just think there's a lot of things that they do that I'm like not so crazy about. Kendry Beard, your videos are great quality. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, when I saw Gendry in that episode with I was like, that's literally what I look like with facial hair. So he becomes Heisenberg now, because I'm not bald, so it's not gonna work. You need to be bald with that beard for that to be Heisenberg. What series is your favorite? Maze Runner, Hunger Games, or Divergent? I haven't seen Divergent, so I have to only go based off of Maze Runner and Hunger Games. But I would go with Hunger Games, just slightly though, just slightly. Like the letters. Oh, so it is. Oh, so it's KL. Wait, was it KL, right? Yeah, KL. Okay. Oh, wait, is this a new super chat? No, this is the one from before. I already read that, right? I don't know. Thank you again, Gabriel. Though, if I already said thank you, I'm saying it again. There you go. Top 5 movies. I said this before. I'll say it again. Joker is number 1, then Interstellar, then Logan, then Back to the Future, then The Green Mile. That's top 5. You know, I'll give you top 10 just because why not? Why not? Let me just pull up Letterboxd. So top 10. So we got number 6, Inception. Number 7, Avengers Endgame. Number 8, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Number 9, King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong. Number 10, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. That's my top 10. It's probably a noob top 10, but you know, I don't care. First Game of Thrones book came out in 1996. Oh, okay. So yeah, before, I guess that's before then, Lord of the Rings movies, but Lord of the Rings book came out in what, like the 50s, 60s or some shit? I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. Did The Hobbit come out first? Or was there a, I don't remember. I don't even know how these books work. When did this book come out? 1937? Oh, damn. I didn't know it was that old. I thought it was not nearly as old as that. Yeah, these are old. Oh, and then the Lord of the Rings ones came out in the 50s. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Those are old. Damn. Would you ever go to Comic-Con? Oh, I would love to. I would love to. I don't know if it have to be for some occasion though. There had to be something there I'm excited to see, you know. The Walking Dead's not doing those anymore. I mean, they might do them for the spin-offs. I don't know. Why do you look like Clint Eastwood in the thumbnail? Do I? I don't know. Even if you do leave YouTube someday, please stick with your Patreon. Yeah, I could do that too. Well, that's the thing, because Patreon's like, Patreon for me, if I ever get to a point where I'm not like consistently uploading on it, I will definitely like, is there a way to freeze your Patreon? Because that's what I'm worried about. I would feel so terrible if I went like a month without uploading that much and then being like, well, I just took all these people's money and I didn't upload that much. I would feel terrible about that. So is there a way to like freeze Patreon if that ever happens? I'm not saying there will come a time like anytime soon where that'll happen, but I'm always worried about that, you know? I don't want to be like, I don't want to feel like I haven't uploaded much in a month and then people feel like that they didn't get their money's worth, you know? If you fake your reactions, then you would be acting instead of reacting because that would be really good acting. Yeah, no, I don't even think like crying on cue is not that easy of a thing. I've tried it before because I've tried to get into like acting. Not to go in depth with that, but I've tried some aspects of acting before. It's not easy to cry on cue, so I would never even attempt to do that for a reaction video because like just being dishonest is just like, to me that just defeats the whole purpose to me, you know? Like I just don't see the point of doing that. It wouldn't be enjoyable to rewatch things and be pretending like I haven't seen it. I don't know. Okay, so it was Canadian currency. Okay, good. Put in Instagram in your channel, YouTube. A lot of studios reach out via Instagram for early viewings and review codes. Oh, really? Oh. Yeah, I don't have an Instagram for my channel, so maybe I should do that then. I didn't realize that. I have it for Twitter, so I assume they'd give it to Twitter or like, what do you say? Email. How did I forget the word email? Why do I forget stupid words like that sometimes? It's the word email. It's just a common word. I forgot it. Only the live streams, not in the held for review. Oh, for like, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with these streams because I'm like, I forget what people are referring to. But yeah, I know what you're referring to. Yeah. Do you like reading? Not really a big reader. But I have read some stuff. I've read Stephen King's Carrie. I've read a lot of comics. I don't know if anyone counts that, but I've read the Walking Dead comics, Kick-Ass comics, a couple other comics. What other novels have I read? I read a couple Walking Dead novels. I don't know if anyone knew about that, but Robert Kirkman wrote a couple of novels based on the governor's backstory in the comic universe, and I read those. Those are pretty good. I started reading Stephen King's Firestarter, but I didn't finish it. I read like 10 pages. And then I just forgot about it. But I don't know. I'm not a big reader just because, like, I already watched so many movies and shows as is. To add a whole nother medium of storytelling on top of that. Oh, even games. You know, there's so many different mediums of storytelling. I'm always probably going to prefer to watch movies or shows rather than reading a book. And it's probably why I'm not as smart as I could be. But you know, maybe one day I'll get to read a little bit more. Game of Thrones is definitely one. I'll definitely probably read those because I'm very curious to see what the source material is like. I'll only delete spoilers or anything hinting at spoilers. I'll leave everything else unless it's extreme profanity or something. Yeah, that's how I prefer it, yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, the thing about extreme profanity is YouTube is like supposed to automatically delete it, but sometimes they don't. So I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes it'll automatically go in there. Sometimes they're really bad. Sometimes they'll delete stuff even if it's like harmless. And I'm like, why did YouTube delete that? I don't know. Well, I don't know if they delete it per se. They put it in the held for review section, which, like I said, I don't check that anymore because I believe, at least this is what I was told on Twitter, and I'm not going to take the chance by checking, but I believe all the stuff that is deleted by mods automatically goes there. So I'm not looking at that, you know? MCU feels formulaic. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's not really innovating. Yeah, I guess. I don't think every movie has to do massive innovating, but at the same time, there could be definitely some innovating. I'm really excited for DC, probably more than Marvel right now, just because they have all those Elseworld projects lined up. That's going to make everything feel so much more unique. Like, you know, we're going to get the Flash this year, right? And the Aquaman. Those are probably going to feel relatively similar in terms of tone. They're still very different movies, but they're probably going to feel similar in terms of tone. But then we get Joker 2. Joker 2 is going to be wildly different than anything in the DCEU, right? And then we're going to get the Batman 2. Again, wildly different. You know, that's what you need. That's what MCU needs. They need very different projects, not, you know, superhero movie with the multiverse, another superhero movie with multiverse, another superhero movie not with the multiverse but with the quantum realm. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? They're different. I think the stories are different, and I love them. I love No Way Home. I love Doctor Strange 2. Didn't really love Ant-Man 3. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So I don't know. They could definitely do a lot more. I will say Shazam Fear of the Gods was funnier than most recent MCU projects. Yeah, actually, I'd probably agree. I think it was funny. Ant-Man 3 didn't really have much humor that worked for me. Thor, Love and Thunder, I actually laughed a lot in the theaters, but I said this before, it was only because I was with my girlfriend, and it was like, anything's funny at that point, you know what I mean? But if I watched that on my own, I don't think any of that would have been even remotely funny. Even remotely funny. But, you know, some things just work in certain moments, and sometimes they don't. It just depends, I guess. Have you seen some other Tobey Maguire movies like Seabiscuit? I've never heard of that. Wait, actually, have I heard of that? I don't know. But I haven't seen those, no. I've only seen Spider-Man, his Spider-Man movies. I've seen Brothers. I've seen The Great Gatsby, I think. Can't remember what else I've seen him in though. Um, I wanted to also request a video on making reaction videos. Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm not sure when or if I would do that 100%, but um, yeah, I'd love to do that sometime. The problem is I don't know where I'd upload that because I'd either upload it. I don't know. I had a separate channel to upload stuff to, but I changed that separate channel to a completely different thing now. So I don't know. I'll see. Have you seen? Oh, Team Gale or Team PETA? I gotta answer that first. So in the movies, I preferred Gale's character up until the last movie. Like, I'm not talking in terms of like who's a better person. I just mean in terms of like who I thought was more interesting and who had like a better arc to them. And even when it comes to them as a person, I did like Gale more. But the second they got to the last movie, and I'm not going to spoil stuff, but like what happened at the end there, that's when I was like, yeah, yeah, Gale's not really a great dude all around. He did some fucked up stuff there at the end, but before that, I liked him a lot. PETA was good too. Have you seen Better Call Saul? I've seen most of it. I've seen most of it. I think I'd love to do after I finish it because I'm like I said, I talked about this earlier in the stream. I'm like to have that show as like a show I watch on my own type of thing. I'm probably gonna do a ranking of all seasons of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad together. I think that would be fun. So maybe keep an eye out for that in the future. Who do you like more, Varys or Littlefinger? Probably Varys. Am I saying his name right? I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Uh, it blows my mind Joker is so low on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, the only reason it's low on Rotten Tomatoes for critics scores is because a lot of critics didn't like it. I think because they were afraid of like the possible ramifications of the perceived messages of that film, where that's just perceived messages. It's not what the movie was trying to say. Like anyone who watches that movie and comes out of it thinking the movie's trying to say that killing people is okay if you are going through hard times, it's not what the movie was saying. Like, not whatsoever. That is just, we see the movie from his perspective. So of course you're gonna see things, you're gonna see him as the protagonist because he is the one in the lead. He's not a good person, very clearly. He is just going through a lot and he does bad things, and it is not whatsoever justified. But the movie is touching on what bad things in society could lead people to do, could potentially lead them to do. It's not saying it's justified, it's just showing you the story and the mind of a character dealing with a lot of mental illnesses and how society just piles upon problems with him to make those illnesses even worse, and eventually he does terrible things. So yeah, that's what Joker is. But a lot of critics thought it was like gonna lead to a bunch more killers or something, and I would it? I don't know. I don't think so. But then again, people are fucked up. So my thought process though is if somebody's gonna be doing terrible things, I don't think a movie's gonna be the reason they decide that they'll actually go ahead and go do it. Maybe that's happened before, I don't know, but I'm not gonna think it's like that movie created killers or something. You know, I don't believe in that. I don't think that's the case. I don't think a movie has that much power over someone's mental state. You know, it's a 2-hour film. But yeah, that's the only reason I think it has lower critic score. I could be wrong. Some people probably just didn't like it because they didn't like it. I don't know. All right, we'll probably be live for another like 10 minutes because throat's starting to get sore. You know how it is when talking for this long, you know? You can pause your Patreon, yes? Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm excited for the Joker sequel. At first, when I heard it was a musical, I groaned so hard because I was like, why would they do that? That's so stupid. Just keep it how it was. But then I thought to myself, it could actually be really interesting. And this is my theory. It's just a theory. So, there's already been rumors that the movie is going to be through the eyes of Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is obviously a singer. Chances are they're going to make Harley Quinn a singer in this universe. And I know she's not really, normally known for that in, other adaptations of the character, but that's kind of the point of the Joker movie. It's a very different adaptation of the character. Joker is also not known as a comedian in, the other adaptations, but that's what they went with. So I think they're going to do the same thing with Harley Quinn, where they're going to make her a wannabe singer, whereas Joker's the wannabe comedian, and he failed at it. Let's assume Harley Quinn fails at it as well, fails at being a singer. And maybe because the movie's through the eyes of Harley Quinn, we're going to see her mental state, just like we saw a lot of Arthur's mental state in Joker. We're going to see Harley's mental state, and we're going to see how she perceives the world. And if she's a singer, maybe there's some sort of delusions, whatever she has, that causes her, when she's in certain moments, maybe like when she's really going through a lot of stress, or maybe when she's about to do something crazy, she sees people in a musical setting, like a musical would be, right? And she sees people dancing. She sees herself on stage doing all these things. And then maybe the next thing she does is kill someone. I don't know. Like, that sort of a thing. I would love that. That sounds awesome. Like a musical where they make it a joke and it's like everyone just starts dancing out of nowhere for some stupid reason. That would be ridiculous. But if it's in a way where it's only through someone's mental state and it's not actually happening in reality, that would be brilliant. And I would just be in love with that, because I think that could actually work. Musicals where it's not actually happening is, to me, way more interesting than musicals where they're actually just straight up like randomly dancing in the street for no reason. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. And the amount of ideas I have right now, just insane. The amount of ideas I have. That would be so cool. So much they can do. I'm getting even more excited for it the more I think about it. I don't know if they're going to do the same like Joker being abusive thing. Like, they might, because that's how it usually is. Like, Joker is more like Harley Quinn in a lot of adaptations isn't that bad of a person. A lot of the times it's usually she's just badly influenced by Joker. I'm not sure if they're gonna do that same thing, but I guess we'll see. The key to crying on cue is to just imagine a world where everyone you love has left you or died. Kind of morbid, but it works for me. Damn. Oh my god. But yeah, that is true. That probably would work. You know what would probably work, actually? So there's a lot of songs that could elicit a lot of emotions in me just from movies and such like that. I think music's probably the best way to elicit emotion. I'm excited for Elseworlds. Not all the other slated stuff by what's his face, but James Gunn. I'm excited for some of the stuff that he announced. Like, obviously, a new Superman movie I'm gonna look forward to. It just depends on who's casted as Superman, what it looks like, what plan they're going for. I would have preferred Henry Cavill to return, but you can't have everything, I guess. The Batman and Robin project I'm looking forward to. There's a couple others I'm not like that crazy about, but I'm excited to see it anyways. But the Elseworld stuff is probably what I'm most excited for, yeah. Who would win, Rick Grimes or Joel Miller? Oh, I mean, we've had 9 seasons of just grizzly ass Rick Grimes just kicking ass, and I've only seen 1 season of Joel, so I'm gonna go with Rick. I'm sure the game Joel, maybe if I played the games, I didn't play the games, so I wouldn't know. But the show Joel, he was cool, but I think Rick Grimes would still kick his ass. When's the next Game of Thrones reaction video? Tomorrow morning, hopefully. Or afternoon, whatever. You know, whatever. Just some point in the day, in the early part of the day, I guess. For if you're on the East Coast. If you're not on the East Coast, then it might be a different time for you, though. Gale was too focused on war, whereas Peter was a genuinely loving person. That's true. But, like, the thing is, I understood why Gale was so focused on it, because there was a lot of terrible things going on in that universe, to the point where his focus on the war, to me, made sense. But it just became a problem when he got too focused into it in the last movie, where it led to bad things happening, obviously, because he made massive mistakes. But beforehand, I didn't think his focus was, like, the worst thing ever, because I was like, oh, he just wants to, like, free this dystopian society from the terrible shit going on in it. Favorite Harry Potter character? I'm gonna be boring and just say Harry, but if we're gonna say besides Harry, I'm gonna be boring again and probably say Hermione. And if we're not gonna say Hermione, I'll be boring again and say Ron. Okay, besides the main three, probably Snape. I'll say Snape. When are you doing Evil Dead 2013? Hopefully this next month sometime. At some point. I'm gonna do all the Evil Dead movies that I haven't done yet, so that will be in there. Damn, everyone's hating on Gale. I'm probably in the minority on not hating. Honestly, I watched those movies like a year ago. Maybe if I watched them again, I would have a different outlook on it, but I didn't think he was a terrible person until the last movie. Remember that. Until the last movie. Lady Gaga can act. I hope they don't use her singing at all. Oh, you're referring to the whole singing thing? Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because she's a singer, right? I know she can act, right? I know. I'm sure she can. Actually, I don't know because I haven't seen her or anything, but I believe you. I'm sure she can. But I feel like it isn't a coincidence that they hired a singer who's primarily known for singing. I'm sure she can act too, but like she's primarily known for singing. There's definitely not a coincidence that they got her for the role and then also said it's going to be a musical. Like, to me, that's just, like, you wouldn't bring in someone who's known for really great music if she's just not going to sing in the musical. Like, you know what I mean? That just doesn't sound right to me. Does that mean she's 100% going to be a singer like Harley Quinn's character? I don't know. But I just don't believe that coincidence. They're definitely going to have her singing it. And I feel like it would make most sense to be it from her perspective. Not that she'll be the only one singing, but I don't know. A list of top movies including Aliens. My favorite is E.T. I don't have a list, but I could just, off the top of my head, Aliens, even just, I guess, the original Alien. E.T. is probably up there, too. The Tomorrow War was really good. That's about aliens. The Independence Day. Can't think of many others, but there's definitely more. I guess Men in Black is technically an alien movie. Oh. Do you listen to Lana Del Rey? I do not. I probably do. I don't know. I have so many songs in my playlist that, like, half of them I don't even know who sings them. So maybe I do. I don't know. How far along are you in Game of Thrones for Patreon? Usually I'm about 1 or 2 episodes ahead. Right now I think I'm only 1 episode ahead. There's been points where I've been 3 episodes ahead. It really just depends, but it's usually 1, 2, or 3 around there. It's easy to hate on Gale if you read the books. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. I haven't read the books, so I wouldn't know. That is interesting too, because I see that happening for a lot of franchises, even like Harry Potter, where like a lot of your opinions on the movies are going to change drastically if you read the books. I'm sure that applies to Game of Thrones. I'm sure that applies to a lot of comics like The Walking Dead. Like a lot of my complaints with the show are only because I read the comics and I compared it to the comics. You know what I mean? So that does make sense. Have you played the Shadow of Mordor games? No. They sound interesting though. Oh, I didn't realize it was a musical. Oh, well, yeah, yeah. They confirmed it's a musical. That was like one of the first things they said about it, I think. So, um, that to me is like, okay, they must be having some sort of a singing thing if it's going to be a musical and she's going to be in it. You know, it just makes sense. Don't mind if you don't mind me asking, what's your name? Been watching for a while. I refer to you as the fusion guy. Oh yeah, it's Dan. I don't really say it too often, but yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind giving that away. I just don't usually say it. I've said it before. It's just, obviously not everyone's gonna have heard it. You should listen to Norman F. and Rockwell in your own time. I'll keep that in mind. I'll just pull out some of the music I do listen to. I'll like list off some of the people. But it was huge, like, what's the word? Diversity, is that the word? I don't know. I listen to a lot of different types of music. It's not like, well, the main thing I listen to is movie soundtracks. So that's one thing, like Hans Zimmer, John Williams, whatever's from a really good movie. I listen to those all the damn time. But if it comes to like actual like songs, Nirvana, AC/DC, Rolling Stones, a lot of it's like 80s and 70s stuff, really. Rihanna. I think she's the best musical artist of the 21st century. 100%, 100%. Will Smith. I have a Will Smith song in here. I don't know. Green Day, Aerosmith, Pitbull. A lot of Rihanna. Wow. Johnny Cash, Frank Sinatra, Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh, there was that song from that one movie I have that she sang. Guns N' Roses. I'm looking for people, bands and groups that I have a lot of their songs listed. Like if it's only one song, I'm not gonna read it. Elvis. After watching the Elvis movie, I had a lot of Elvis's songs. Nine Inch Nails. A couple of Neighborhood songs, only because of my girlfriend. So she introduced me to that. I like their songs. I like their songs. The Beach Boys. They actually got some banging music. I'm not gonna lie. Kesha, only because it's nostalgic. I don't think it's the best stuff ever, but it's nostalgic. Metallica, especially for the gym. A lot of Rihanna. Holy shit, bro. What is with me? Yeah, I mean, that's most of it, to be honest. I'm not gonna read every single thing, but if anyone cares about any of my music taste, there you go. There you go. I think you're gonna be done with Game of Thrones long before August. Oh, I hope so. Well, actually, with summer coming up, I mean, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing this summer, to be honest. Like, I don't know exactly what I have lined up when it comes to outside of YouTube things, but I think I might have more free time than I do now. So, yeah, I could possibly watch a lot more. But I'm getting through it pretty fast. Yeah, I heard Lady Gaga was in American Horror Story. Dude, Rihanna? Yeah, like, I don't know what it is. It's a lot of it's nostalgia, to be honest. Like, I can't say like, because music is the most subjective form of entertainment, in my opinion. Like movies, yeah, it's still subjective. Games, they're still subjective, but there's some bit of objectivity to it, not like a crazy amount. And most of it's subjective. It's just a matter of taste, right? But music is like almost purely subjective. There's little to no objectivity in good music. It's a lot of it is just nostalgia. Like, do you have nostalgic feelings towards this type of music? Does it make you feel good? It's all really matters at the end of the day. And her music, I listened to that shit a lot in the early 2000s when I was growing up. So, not out of choice, it was just like on the radio or something, but that shit was always on the radio. So I just became nostalgic, and it's good. It's good. It sounds good. I like it. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's always a nostalgia thing, really. Oh God, Perry. I read that as very different. I read this last word hits. I read that as a different word, and I was like, what? All I read was the last three words here, and I read that. Oh, sorry. You can make with that as you will. I was like, damn, dude. Cage the Elephant. I think I have one of their songs. High on Life. Oh no, I didn't play it. I saw it though. I saw gameplay of it. That would be fun to play. Yeah, I do have that second channel, so I could make some videos out of it, like in terms of other games. I've been doing the Sons of the Forest, the Harry Potter game as well. Haven't done anything else though. But we can do more. I like Rihanna acting more. I didn't even know she acted that much. I've seen like one or two movies with her acting in it, but I've never really seen her act that much. Why don't you say your name more? You should say it more frequent in your videos, just so people know your name. Honestly, it's more of like I don't mind if people know it, but I think the less that know, the better. Just because like I do care about privacy, and yeah, I don't think people can find that much information from me just from my first name, but some people can, because some people are really weird and like to really stalk people. So I'm just a little worried about, like, I don't want to say too much personal stuff. Name is not that personal. Let's be real here. It's not. But I think the less people that know it, the better. I don't mind if people know it, but at the same time, I'm just not going to like frequently say it, because I don't know. It probably doesn't matter whatsoever. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't even say MovieFusion. Like, I don't even say that. Like, I never say my name. Because I don't know what it is, but those type of intros, I haven't done those in a long time. I used to do it. I used to be like, what is going on, guys? MovieFusion here. Like, I used to do that, but I stopped. I don't know why. I just get right into it. I'm like, we are watching Game of Thrones. Let's get to it, Not that quick, but, somewhat quicker. Batman v Superman or Ant-Man 3? Oh, definitely Batman v Superman. I think Batman v Superman's really underrated, so I'm definitely the wrong one to ask about that, because I actually really like that movie, and a lot of people don't like it, so. Dan is the last name I would have guessed. Oh, a Batman Forever soundtrack. I have that in my phone. That is a good soundtrack. Yeah, Snape was amazing. He was such a good character. There's a lot of good characters in Harry Potter. Oh, those are the movies that... Oh, no, those aren't movies. Those are bands. I thought you were listening off movies. I was like, these don't sound like movies. I've not played a game called Project Zomboid, no. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for the stream. My voice is getting kind of dead. So, my negative about Batman v Superman is there's no action in the first hour. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Okay. I'm gonna end it there. Just for some future videos, Game of Thrones tomorrow. Wednesday is gonna be Mandalorian. Thursday, hopefully John Wick 4 review, and then Friday I'll probably do a ranking of the John Wick movies if I can see it in time. I don't know if it'll probably be late Thursday, probably like midnight or some shit, probably really late, because the movie's like long. It's like 3-hour movie. And then Saturday, probably by then I don't know if I'll probably have another Game of Thrones out by then. I don't know. that's just for the upcoming slate for the next couple of things. For movies, I want to do the Evil Dead reactions. I'm going to do Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2013. I would like to do The Breakfast Club. We're doing that. We're going to be doing... I already reacted to Sicario. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but Sicario, the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Let's hope people know what I'm talking about. I recently watched that, and I'm going to be doing a posting a reaction for that probably in the next few weeks. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching.